my deal with Swami, the very, I'll have to bring it to Rudram now. You see this mic is an interesting thing. How many pins are there? Three. How many holes are there? Obviously 3, hello. If you put like this, is the sound coming? If you put like this, does the sound come? If you put like this, does the sound come? No. You try to not align the pins and try to, no sound, no sound, no. Suddenly, the pins and the holes are completely aligned. Then the sound is magnified. What are the 3 pins? What are the 3 holes? The first pin is the body. The second pin is the senses. The third pin is the mind. The first hole is service. The second hole is the adoration. The third hole is the illumination. Only when body, mind and senses are aligned in service, adoration, illumination, your voice will be magnified and the whole world can hear you. And I just came up with that. Because everything happens in the divine presence, and everything that happens in the divine presence has spiritual significance. Please note that. Everything, an ant moving and a bird flying, everything has a spiritual significance. It's not just us as human bodies sitting here. This divine vibration that you're going to create, especially in the yajna that's coming in April, will fill the whole world from African continent and will spread across. And therefore, this Sri Rudram, as we chant, prepares our body, prepares our senses, prepares our mind in love and service for the universe and to become a perfect instrument for Swami. That is the purpose. And if you did not accomplish that, then that means what? If there is a Christian in this audience, they need to understand the meaning of Rudram without any context of a white guy with matted hair sitting on a mountain and chilling out. Who is that? You don't know? A white guy with matted hair, with snakes around him. Oh yeah, no. Are you pleased out already? Okay. So, that is, Rudram is not about this guy called Shiva. I'm assuring you, at least that was the deal I had with Swami. I said, Swami, this Rudram I'm going to teach to a whole bunch of Christians, whole bunch of Muslims, Buddhists, etc. How can I explain the meaning of this, thinking that unless you worship Shiva, you will go to hell? And the Shiva is a terrorist and carries all this trishulam and arrows and bow and all of this stuff. If you don't listen, he will be angry and then he'll pierce you with this trishulam and that's it, life is gone. If I explain the meaning of all of that, what will happen? They'll think Hinduism is full of terrorists. And they worship terrorist gods. Huh? So Swami said, no. That is all bookish knowledge. He promised me, I will give you the meaning of each and every word that applies to every human being on this universe, so that they will transform their lives through practice of Rudram, not the chanting of the Rudram, but by living Rudram. So what is Rudram? What is Rudra? The word Rudra means very simply the center of the entire universe, the source of the entire universe, source. And that from that source of the entire universe came all different forces. From the source came all the forces. And the center of the universe is within you here. And from this here, the first force that came is the force of wisdom. The second force that came is the force of the thought. And that thought gets launched by the bow, by name mind. And when the thought is associated with the mind will then bring it to action through shoulders. Is there anybody in this audience that did not understand this? Huh? I'll repeat again. The source of everything is Rudra, and from the source came forces. The first force is the force of wisdom. The second one is the force of thought. The thought gets manifested as the mind, and from the mind came the action. This is the very first mantra of Rudram. Open your notebooks now. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha. Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bahubhya Mudate Namaha. So, when we are chanting the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha. Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bahubhya Mutate Namaha. Now, have you noticed what I did? Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha. Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bahubhya Mutate Namaha. What did I do? Cross. Hey yo, what happened to Rudram now, sir? Jesus came. Huh? Suddenly Jesus came, what happened to Shiva? This is what Bhagavan did when he taught me the very first mantra of Rudram. While I was chanting the mantra, he was doing like this. I said, Swami, what are you doing? Suddenly they'll kill me, the Hindus. Huh? Christians will be also unhappy. Everybody will be unhappy. Then Swami said, the very first mantra of Rudram is teaching you integrity of the heart with the head and the hands. This is the practical application of the first mantra of Rudram. Yes? Now you understood what Bhagavan's love is? Now, you think that you have to learn Rudram or not? Only sing bhajans and play tabla. Yeah? Yeah? Do you want to have integrity of thought, word and deed? Yes. Every human being should have integrity of thought, word and deed. And that is what is called manassekam, vachassekam, karmanyekam, mahatmanam, karmananyat, manasanyat, vachasanyat, duratmanam. A Mahatma is the one who has integrity of thought, word and deed. And this is the first mantra's practical meaning of Sri Rudram that Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba gave. It is not written in any books. That was the promise Swami took from me. He said, you want to know the real practical meaning of Rudram? Do not read books. If you want to know something, come and put your head on my feet. Because he is the universal God. Namaste Rudramanyavauto Daishave Namaha. Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bahubhyam Tate Namaha. So, when you are looking at this Sri Rudram, okay, so the context of what we are talking here is the Rudram is divided into primarily two parts, Namakam and Chamakam. Namakam means where the word Namaha, Namaha, Namaha is repeated, okay, several times. Okay, I'll explain to you as we go through these slides very quickly. All these slides can be accessed on a Google Drive, and whoever is registered will get a link to these files, so you don't need to write down all the stuff on the slide. I want you to listen, okay, more than writing down. So, if you look at Veda, what Veda is, Veda means awareness. Vid means awareness. What is awareness? Awareness means you have some idea about who you are. Whether that is right or wrong, that's a different question. You have some awareness. I am a man, I am a human, my name is so and so, I live in Durban, I work so. All that is awareness. Yes? But that awareness, if you understand, that awareness is not about human beings. There are 8.5 million species of animals, and each one of them have some awareness associated with them. Right? Now can you understand what is universal awareness now? 8.5 million species, of which humans is 1 out of 8.5, and out of which there are 6.5 billion human beings. 6.5 billion human beings awareness, if you were to visualize that like a data visualization, how will that look like? Impossible, impractical. Now that's only humans. For every human being, there are 2 million ants. So now 6.5 times 2 million ants, what is the ant awareness? What is, and ant is one of the trillions of insects that are present. So what is insect awareness? Can you understand now what the awareness of the whole cosmos is? Awareness is now unquantifiable. Entire humanity's intelligentsia put together cannot visualize the awareness of the universe. Are we all together? And that awareness, if you give it a word, it is called Veda. Now can you ever learn Veda? Can you ever be aware of Veda? Impossible, impractical. Therefore, Bhagavan Veda Vyasa, he took this awareness and he took a fistful of that awareness. And that fistful of awareness, out of that mountain of awareness, a fistful became 4 Vedas. The outer awareness is Rig Veda, next one is Sama Veda, next is Yajur Veda, and in that Yajur Veda there is this thing called Rudra Prishna, and in that Rudra Prishna there is Namah Shivaya Cha mantra, and in the center of that are 2 letters called Shiva. So the center of awareness of the universe is called Shiva. And that is Rudra. That is what I was calling as Namaste Rudramanyava Bhutotai Shave Namah. If we can meditate on this, we are done for life. Just meditating on this is in itself an incredible experience. Can you expand your awareness outside of this body? Can you expand your awareness outside of this body? Ah. Can you become aware of an ant? You know ant, but are you in the awareness of the ant? No. Because our awareness is just limited to this until the thought is limited to the skin. Awareness, not knowledge. Don't get confused between knowledge and awareness. You understand? Yeah. I know an aeroplane flies is a knowledge. I know how to fly an aeroplane is something you can do. I know how to fly is awareness. Are you connecting? If you don't understand, raise your hand, else I know. This is not simply a lecture. This is workshop. So anytime you have a question, please raise your hand or write down your question and we'll collect it later and address them. So, that is what we call as Shiva, the Rudra. Therefore, Sri Rudram is the center of the awareness of the whole universe. It's the center of the awareness. And in that Sri Rudram, Shiva, 2 letters become the core of that awareness. Therefore, Bhagavan emphasized chanting Rudram because You go to the center of the universal awareness with Sri Rudram. If you truly live it and experience it. Now, what happens if I go to the center of that awareness? Why should I go to the center? I'm happy where I am. Durban. Eating bani chow. Or biryani. Bani chow or biryani, 2 piece. Baba. Just kidding, okay. Otherwise you'll all be sleeping, I just want to make sure you're awake. Okay. So why should I go to the center of the awareness? What happens if I'm not in the center of it? Come on. So Bhagavan explained this very beautifully to me. Because all these questions I asked him on behalf of all of us. And then he said, look, if there is a rotating wheel, and this rotating wheel, if you are at the periphery of the wheel, what happens? You are subject to 2 forces. The first force is centripetal, that makes you fall to the center. The second is the centrifugal, that takes you out of the awareness. But if you go to the center of the circle, no force, because you are at the source. Yes? So when you go to the center of that awareness, you are not subject to the forces of the world. You are Bhadram. Rudram gives you Bhadram. Bhadram means stability, stillness. You are not affected by the world, but you are in the world. As Bhagavan says, you are in the world, but not of it. So you are in the awareness, but not of the awareness of the world. Next slide. I think I can move the slides from here. Okay, so these are some trivia about what Rudram is. It's from this Veda called Krishna Yajurveda, and it has, particularly Namakam, has 11 chapters, 169 mantras, 187 times the word Namaha, Namaha is repeated. Therefore it is called Namakam. And Chamakam has 11 chapters in which 340 times the words Chame are repeated. Therefore it's called Chamakam. Namakam, Chamakam. Next. Next slide please. So, you can skip there. Now when we go into there are particular ways of invoking the mantras. I think we should, I don't know how it, is there a way to, can you put it on, you can't stop it, right? Okay, so otherwise they'll all be looking at that and not me. And they'll be trying to read every word and try to make sense out of it, and it all sounds like a gibberish. So you won't understand anything. That's why I don't want to confuse you with all of this stuff. So I'll give you the slides at the break. You can turn off the thing. So this Namakam, Chamakam, we already understood. Sri Rudram is the center of universal awareness. When you are in the center of the awareness, you are not subject to the forces of the nature, but the forces now manifest from you. You are in control of the forces. The forces don't control you. You understand? There's a difference between the two. One guy asked me, video game player, one young boy, "Uncle, I have this problem." I said, "What is the problem?" I said, "I cannot stop playing this video game. Constantly, I'll get up in the middle of the night, I'm playing video game. I said, "No." Good, just want to check. And he asked the question, how do I stop playing this video game? Then I asked him the question, are you playing the video game or the video game playing you? Do you know the difference between the two? Do you know the difference between video game playing you and you playing video game? Yes? Viren, you don't know. No, you don't play any video games. You play, okay. If video game is playing you, you cannot stop playing it. If you are playing the video game, it is in your control. If video game is playing you, then the game is controlling you. If you are a smoker, if smoking is controlling you, you can never quit smoking. Same thing with any addiction. That means the mind is taken over by that addiction. Similarly, when you are in the center of the awareness, you control the forces coming out of you. Therefore, the first mantra puts you in control of the forces, not being controlled by the forces. You can sit upstairs, no problem. I understand your problem. I thought you will leave after bhajans, but thanks for staying. So, brothers and sisters, let's chant the very first mantra. Those of you who can chant. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namaste Rudramanyava Uttota Ishave Namaha. Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bhavubhyamutate Namaha. So, I won't get into with you all the nuances of pronunciation. I am not going to teach you the mantras. I am only going to tell you the meaning of the mantras. You will have to learn proper way of chanting. I believe now there are trainers that are created, and every Monday we are training the trainers how to properly pronounce and how to properly intonate, etc. So I am not going to teach you because, for example, Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bhagubhyamutate Namaha. So you have to learn to chant at a very slow speed and pay attention to the pronunciation of the letters and also the intonation associated with them. Why? Because you are creating a sound vibration. And that sound vibration is what you are producing. And if that vibration is not completely in place, then you are not producing the proper vibration. That's the point of it. But don't stop because you can't create the proper vibration right now. There is no reason. If you are doing with love, Swami will not affect you. Why? Because if your name is Satyanarayana and you have a 1-year-old son and you ask him to say the name, he'll say Tattanarayana. Will you go smack the 1-year-old and say, hey, say my name properly? Why you are saying Tattanarayana? You will be happy. Oh, look at my son, mere beta. Kaisa acha bol raha hai. He is saying Tattanarayana, very good. You are happy. You are not upset with the kid. But if the kid grows up to be 15-year-old, he still says Tattanarayana, then you take him to a doctor. You understand the difference? So as you grow in your awareness, Swami expects us to practice the mantras in our lives, not simply chant them. Similarly, when you are in the learning stages, you make mistakes, he is not going to punish you. So with that, Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bhavubhyamutate Namaha. Now you see, the literal meaning of that mantra is, O Rudra, I bow to your anger. I bow to your arrow. I bow or salute to your bow. I bow or salute to your shoulders. That is the literal meaning. When you read only the literal meaning, what is Shiva appearing? Oh, there is this guy called Shiva. He is very angry. When he is angry, he has arrows and he has a bow and he uses his shoulders to shoot down everybody at whom he is angry. That is what is the literal meaning of it. And when I read the meaning in that book, I said, oh my God, this Rudram stuff is not for me. They'll think, I am worshipping a terrorist God. Why is this God going killing everybody who is angry at? That's when Swami came in my dream and he said, no, the mind, the bow, the mind is the bow. The arrow is the thought. The shoulders are the ones that are launching the thoughts that you have. Now that makes so much beautiful sense. There is no indication of any God with bow and arrows and doing some angry actions. Here Manu actually means, Manu has 4 different meanings associated with them. Manu also means wisdom, knowledge. So what we have now said, I salute to the wisdom within me. I salute the thought within me. I salute my mind that launches the thought. I salute the shoulders that are associated with launching the thought into action. Yes, no God Shiva, nothing. Mantra applies to you. Mantra applies to you. And therefore, what suddenly happened? If I have a thought, how should that thought be? If I have a mind, how should that mind be? If I have wisdom, what kind of wisdom should it be? And if I am doing actions, what kind of actions should I be involved? Beautiful questions, no? Don't worry, Rudra will answer all of those questions. Now suddenly, Rudram turned into a transformation tool. Rudram is no longer a ritualistic hymn that is offered to another person called God, who you don't know where and how and what exists as God. Yes? Suddenly the mantra is turned inside. The mantra is simply not for other people. Mantra is for our own transformation.